You're warmly welcome to Joshua Okwuwe Online Maths. In this channel, we make maths so easy for everyone to understand. This channel, if you visit this channel on a daily basis, I assure you, in no time, you will become a mathematician. And you agree with me, in no time, that mathematics remains the best and the easiest subject of all time. In our class today, we'll be taking something index notation. Index notation, starting from all class, from upper elementary down to senior secondary. They all talk about indices, laws of indices. When a child, a pupil or student understand the laws of indices, it becomes so easy for such child to actually understand and answer any question in examination or test. And so today we'll be looking at a few laws of indices in this video. So please watch closely, follow through so that you'll be able to understand what these laws of indices are and how to apply them in answering questions in mathematics. The very first one that we'll be talking about is the multiplication law. Multiplication law. The multiplication law states that if a base is raised to a power, let's say the base a is raised to power x, multiplied by the same base also, the same base, that is a also raised to another power again, y. If you look at this, the base are the same, a and a, raised to different power, this is x and y. The multiplication law says that this is the same thing as saying a raised to the power of x. What do? We're going to add their power plus y. This is what the first law of indices states, that a, or if a base is raised to the power, is raised to a different power, and then the same base also is raised to another power, that all you need to do, you take the base and then what happens, you add the powers together. For example, you have a question like this in the exam that says simplify, let's say for instance, let's say 2 raised to the power of 5 times 2 raised to the power of 3. This is a question in the exam that says you should do what? Simplify. Simplify 2 raised to the power of 5 times 2 raised to the power of 3. Apply the multiplication law. All you need to do here, look at the base. The base is the same, 2, 2. So what are you supposed to do now? Apply the first law of indices. This means that we're going to do 2 raised to the power of what? 5 plus 3, which is equals to what? 2 raised to the power of 8. And 2 raised to the power of 8 means what? It means 2 in 8 places. Multiply 2 8 times, like 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Are you following now? So 2 raised to the power of 8, this means 2 times 2. That is what this means. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 1 2 3 4 5 times 2 times 2, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 times 2, 8. 2 raised to the power of 8 means 2 times 2 times 2 in 8 places. It does not mean 2 times 8. Please don't make that mistake. It means 2 times 2 in 8 places. Like, what do you do? Multiply. So let's do it together. It's very simple. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is what? 32. 32 times 2 is what? 64. 64 times 2 is 124. And 124 times 2 is 248. So 2 raised to the power of 8 is what? 248. And that is your answer. So it's not difficult. It's very simple. Okay, so that is the first law of indices. So that is how we apply it in answering question. Now the second law that we'll be talking about is called the division law. The division law. The division law states that if I have a base like this raised to the power of, let's say, x, divided by the same base also a raised to the power of y. Division law says that this is the same thing as saying the base raised to the power of x minus y, means that you should subtract their what? Their power or their index. This is called power. the index. Okay, that's why it's called index what notation. Index on top, on top. Okay, so it says that we should do what? Subtract their index or their power. So how do we apply this? The same thing, just like what we do here. For instance, you have a question like this. Now, for instance, the question said that you should do what? Simplify. Simplify. What number should you choose now? Okay, let's say simplify 3 raised to the power of 7 divided by 3 raised to the power of, let's say, 5. Yes, simplify 3 raised to the power of 7 divided by 3 raised to the power of 5. If you look at the base, they are the same. So using the division law says that since the base are the same, what do? You subtract their what? Their power. That is what? 7 minus 5. And this is what? 3. 7 minus 5 is what? Is 2. 3 raised to the power of what? 2. 3 raised to the power of 2 is the same thing as what? 3 times 3, just like what we did here, which equals to what? Equals to 9. So that is it. So please look out for it in any tiny textbook at all and watch out for questions like this. This is what you do. Just apply this law. Go through it over and over again. You will understand. You'll be able to apply them in answering questions. There's another law again now. The next law that I want us to look at again this time is the power law. Power law. So let me clean this off so I'll have enough space. As I said, if you don't understand the video, please go through it again, watch it over and over again. I assure you, you will understand it because it's very, very what? Simple. Okay? It's very, very simple. So all you need to do, remember, if it's the multiplication, what happens to their power? You add the power. If it's division, what happens to the power? You subtract their power. Now we have the next law now called the power law. The power law. What do you mean by the power law? When you say the power law, what does it mean? So let's look at it now. Law 3 now, power law. Power law. The power law states that if I have a base like this, I have a base like this, raised to a power like this, and then both the base and the power, both of them is now raised to another power like this. The power law states that if we have a case like this, what are we going to do? That this is the same thing as saying a, that is our base, raised to the power of x times y. That means you multiply the what? You multiply the power. You multiply the power. That is what we mean by what? Power law. If a, which is the base, is raised to a power, and all together they are now raised to another power, that you should do what? Multiply the two power together. So how do we apply this? For instance, you have a question like this. I say simplify. Let's say for instance, let's say this time we have 5 raised to the power of 2. Then raised to a power of, let's say, 2 again. Something like this. It can be 3, it can be 4, it can be whatever it is. Now, what is power law saying? He's saying that this is seen as 5 raised to the power of 2 times 2, which equals to what? 5 raised to the power of 4. And 5 raised to the power of 4 means what? Means 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. That means 5 in 4 places. So 5 raised to the power of 4 means 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is what? 25. 25 times 5 is what? 125. 25 times 5, this is it. 25 times 5 is what? 125. No, we've taken 2. We say this means 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. So let's take it together. I've taken these 2 now. 5 times 5 is what? 25. 25 times 5 is what? 125. Now 125 times the last 5. Now let's do it together so that you understand. So 125 times 5 now. What do? Let's bring multiplication back now quickly. 5 times 5 is what? Is what? 25. You write down what? 5, carry 2. 5 times 2, 10 plus the 2, 12. What do? You write down what? 2, carry 1. 5 times 1 is what? 5 plus 1, 6. So 5 raised to the power of 4 will give us what? 6 to 5. That is it. Not difficult at all. Very simple. So that is how you apply the power law in answering question. That is how you apply the power law in answering question. It's very simple. Always remember these laws. Once you know them, you practice them again and again. Come to this video, watch it over and over again. I assure you, you will understand this. And when you see any question related to this, you will remember what to do because you have practiced it. You have known it like your name. So it's very easy for you to do what? To apply it. The next law that we'll be talking of now is the product law. The product law, the fourth law of indices, is called the product law. The product law, what does it state? Just like the name product. Product means two things, multiplying. We are multiplying, product, multiply. So the product law states that if I have different base, for instance, A and B, raised to the power, both of them in the bracket now, raised to the power of x. Let's say x like this. The product law states that A, B, you are going to handle them independent of each other. That means that this is the same thing as saying A raised to the power of x, B raised to the power of x. A raised to the power of x, B raised to the power of x. What does it mean? It means that you are going to multiply A raised to the power of whatever you're having there and also do the same also to B. What do you mean? For example, you have a question like that says, simplify. Let's say we have a question like this, simplify. Let's say 2A. 2A raised to the power of 3. Simplify this, 2A raised to the power of 3. Applying the product law, this 3 is going to affect 2 independently and also affect A independently. So what does that mean? That means that this is what? 2 raised to the power of 3, A raised to the power of 3. 2 raised to the power of 3 is what? Means 2 times 2 times 2. That means 2 in 3 places. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is what? Is 8. And then A cube. That is it. That is the answer. So this is how we apply all this law. We have discussed 4 laws of indices now. In our next video, I will be discussing the remaining laws of indices. Please watch this video over and over again. Practice this example that I've given to you. Look out for questions in past questions. Solve them. Try to solve them on your own. If you encounter any problem at all, feel free to drop it on our comment section. You'll be rest assured that I will attend to your question. Once again, if you have enjoyed what you have watched in this video, feel free to share with your friends and family. And most especially, don't forget to click subscribe to this channel and also turn on the notification button so that whenever I upload new videos, you will be notified about them. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.